Hello, thank you for joining us for part two of creating a digital room in PowerPoint. So let's pick up where we were at the end of part two, which we had drawn our room. We have gone back and changed the outline to black, but now we want to go and create the colors of our room. So to begin with, we're going to go ahead and get some color palette ideas. So I have a website for you, https://coolers.co/ for a reference source. So let's take a look at that website for just a moment. And if we go back to the home page here, you have two choices in the to generate color palettes. You can use the color palette generator and you can choose your own colors and the generator will help you match colors. Or you can explore trending palettes. I'm going to do the quick way this time and I'm going to explore trending palettes. So if you remember from part one, my color scheme I wanted to use was blue, orange, and cream. So I'm going to scroll through and here I've got some oranges and blue. I scroll down, here's some more oranges and blues. But honestly, this one's not bad here. That's more of a blue-green. But quite honestly, if we scroll all the way back up to the beginning of these color palettes, I really like this color palette right here. So I'm going to use my snipping tool on my computer. I'm going to choose New Snip, and I'm going to go around my color palette. And then I'm going to go Edit and Copy. And I can now add that color palette to my template. So we're going to go back to slide 3 in your digital sketchbook PowerPoint. And you can see I've already practiced putting it in there, but I'll take it out and show you again. So if I want to add that snip, there's two ways of doing this. I can click on my screen, I can hold down the control button and tap on the V key, and that will add my image to my screen. The other option I can do is I can right click with my mouse and I can choose the picture and it will allow me to add the picture that way too. So from part one, you were supposed to duplicate your room slide. If you don't remember how to duplicate your room slide, make sure there's this reddish brown border around your slide. Go up to copy, click on copy, go down to duplicate, and it will make an extra copy of your slide. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to change the colors of our wall and ceiling and add a texture to the floor by clicking on each shape and using the Shape Fill tool. So in order to do that, I am going to drag my duplicated slide down here. I am going to click on my wall. I'm going to come up here to Shape Fill and I am going to choose one of the colors. Now I can choose from the palette that's provided right up here, or I can also go down here to more fill colors and I can slide my cursor around and I can create my own custom color here. Press OK and the color pops up. Now actually I want a little darker color. So I'm going to use this kind of reddish, brownish, orangish color here from the color palette provided in PowerPoint. And I'm going to change my back wall to that same color. And I'm going to go over here to the right wall and change that also. For the ceiling of my room, I want to go a little bit lighter to create some contrast. So I'm going to go down here and click on this light orange. Now, I want to add a texture to my floor. So I've clicked on my trapezoid shape on the floor, going back to shape fill, and this time I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom to texture. I'm going to click on texture, and I can hover my mouse cursor over these different textures and choose one for my floor. I'm actually going to scroll all the way down here to the walnut texture, and I'm going to click on that, and you'll notice that it fills my room. Now, another thing that I can do is I can add gradients to create shadows and realism. So here is a duplication of my slide, and I'm going to add some shadows to my walls. So I'm going to click on my trapezoid color or trapezoid shape. I'm going to click on shape fill, and I'm going to come down here to gradient. Now I am going to just hover my mouse over these different gradients and look for one that I like. I'm going to go back over to this one right here. It says linear diagonal, and that adds a little darker shade to this back corner of my room, and it's a little lighter towards the front. You'll see why I did this when we get to the step where I'm adding furniture and also lighting sources. I'm going to click on my back wall here, and I'm going to repeat the process. Going to gradient, and this time I'm going to do this darker color along the top edge. Now I've gone through on this slide and I've added all of the gradients. So this is the end of part 2, adding colors, textures, and gradients. We will move on to part 3 shortly.